Welcome to Around San Diego. So glad to have you with me. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day. I'll get you caught up on our top stories and look ahead in just 30 minutes. So just one day after the San Diego City Council approved a nearly 20% water rate hike over less than a year-and-a-half time frame, an audit committee met on Wednesday. Water Department officials say fixes are on the way, and customers could get notification that their bills are withheld as early as this week. During the meeting, Councilmember Vivian Moreno used CBS 8's coverage to drive home the ongoing billing issues that customers have faced for years now.
We've seen a number of high-profile news reports showing customers who received bills as high as $16,000. Do you anticipate being able to fulfill this recommendation by November, as indicated in the report?
Yes, we actually anticipate having that by the end of this month, if not by the end of this week.
Yeah, so CBS 8 will continue to work for you, and we'll follow this to make sure that these fixes are put into place. If you'd like to read more about this latest water rate hike or share your thoughts on it with us, just download our free CBS 8 app, follow CBS 8 on social media, or head to cbs8.com. Meantime, the CARE Court law, which stands for Community Assistance Recovery and Empowerment, aims to give people with mental health and substance use disorders the support and care they need. And it goes into effect in less than 2 weeks. So who qualifies for help under this new law, and what else does it entail? CBS 8's Ariana Cohen has those details.
The state law, CARE Court, passed last year, goes into effect October 2nd. It's Governor Gavin Newsom's plan to get Californians in crisis off the streets and into housing, treatment, and care. San Diego is one of the first counties to adopt the law that allows people to suggest a loved one receive mental health care. How it works? A first responder, family member, or friend can file a petition on behalf of anyone they feel is suffering from a severe mental illness. Then a court officer decides if the person meets the eligibility criteria, and the person undergoes a mental health evaluation within 2 weeks. The court holds a hearing to decide if the person should meet with a case manager and enroll in a care plan designed to help with their symptoms. I talked with Director of Behavioral Health Services for San Diego County, Dr. Luke Bergman. He stresses the process is voluntary. If they refuse 2 times, a judge can order it, but there are questions on how or if that order will be enforced. He also says the services are restricted to those with schizophrenia and related disorders.
So schizophrenia is not one of the most common diagnoses that we see among all people with serious mental illness, certainly not among all people with behavioral health conditions generally, and among people experiencing homelessness.
According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, less than 1% of adults in the U.S. have schizophrenia. Depression and anxiety are more common, but CARE Court will not be offered for those diagnoses.
So it's a narrow band of people. It is a program not designed to address the broader scope of needs across the world of behavioral health, and certainly the broader scope of needs at the nexus of behavioral health and homelessness. But that doesn't mean that it won't be useful.
He says San Diego County estimates it will get 1,000 petitions in the first year and establish court-ordered treatment plans for 250 people. The remainder likely will either not qualify or agree to services voluntarily.
And we're very hopeful that this program may help some people develop care plans and see them through who wouldn't otherwise.
Ariana Cohen, CBS 8.
Ariana, thanks. Well, the city of San Diego is joining a city in Oregon to ask the Supreme Court to weigh in on laws addressing homelessness. The city of Grants Pass filed the petition after an appeals court shut down a new ordinance that banned people from sleeping on public property. If the case makes it to the Supreme Court, it could change laws impacting homelessness across the nation. Mayor Todd Gloria released this statement saying, quote, "In the past few years, we have dramatically expanded shelter and service services and passed reforms to make it easier to build affordable housing. Along with these measures, we must be allowed to enforce our laws, end quote. So we are now checking back in with a man who we introduced you to last week. He's on the streets and is experiencing homelessness for the first time in his life. CBS 8's Steve Price is back with Scott on his journey to find a bed through San Diego's shelter system.
Last week, we introduced you to a San Diego man who, for the first time in his life, at age 62, found himself homeless. He asked us not to use his real name, so we're calling him Scott. For the last week, Scott has been trying to navigate San Diego's shelter system, but every day he's been turned away.
Each morning there was nothing.
Scott's quest to keep a roof over his head has been a very long road.
No beds, no beds.
Starting a week ago Tuesday, he lined up here at the City of San Diego's Homelessness Response Center around 4:30 in the morning, hoping to get a bed in a shelter. But 5 days in a row, he got turned away, and the scene down here made him fear for his safety.
All the different people in the corner, they're all selling drugs and doing drugs and just, violent and just, it's like really bizarre down there.
Scott thought he was doing everything you're supposed to do and still doesn't understand why he kept getting turned away, told there were no beds, especially when the mayor said this during a news conference last month.
There's always beds available.
We reached out to the city today and they issued a statement saying the mayor's statement speaks for itself. There are always shelter beds available in addition to space at 20th and B. Scott says he was never offered a spot at 20th and B and calls the system deplorable.
Watching on television is one thing, but living it is a whole different thing. And yeah, my eyes have been completely opened, and to see what's been going on, and it's not good. It's not good at all.
CBS 8 reached out to some of our contacts in this area, and on Tuesday, Scott got a spot.
I slept well, indoors, safe, and I feel good about it.
But here's the thing, Scott did not get into a city-run shelter. He's at the San Diego Rescue Mission. They accepted him into a one-year program.
To me, it's a nice program. So, there's a lot of devotionals and things like that, but that doesn't bother me.
Scott hopes this program can help him turn his life around so he can once again enjoy the comfort of long-term housing.
Just going from the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen to you next, to now knowing. And it's a big burden off my shoulders.
In downtown, Steve Price, CBS 8.
Appreciate it, Steve. Thank you. Well, dozens of migrants camping out in Jacumba have been out there for days. This is what it looked like just this week on Old Highway 80. One migrant tells us that he crossed the border Monday morning with 4 other people. He says they were trying to escape violence and find better opportunities.
There's too much violencia coming for Anita help, right?
Yeah, Border Patrol has now taken them to a processing facility. CBP says they have noticed that an uptick in asylum seekers in this area. And local organizations are stepping up to help migrants, but are struggling to keep up with the demand. Interfaith Community Services says they've helped more than 300 migrants who were dropped off by Border Patrol in Oceanside over the past week. Volunteers are giving out food, clothes, and helping migrants get connected with their sponsors here in the U.S.
They could get their phones charged up, talk to their families, get them food, water, clothing, because a lot of these individuals have been locked into detention centers that maybe haven't been showering for months, weeks, days. They don't know what day it is. They don't know what time it is. They don't know anything when they are released.
The group says people are arriving from countries around the world. French, Arabic, and Spanish are some of the most common languages being spoken. Well, this week, hundreds of Kaiser Permanente nurses in San Diego protested what they are calling unsafe staffing conditions. The union says it's been an issue for years and through the pandemic even began. They say Kaiser just opened another new location in San Marcos this week, making staffing levels even worse. Nurses say that some of them have been moved from existing locations to fill shifts at the new one. The union says this is not only an issue for nurses, but patients as well, who might have to wait longer for care.
We're tired. We're not asking for nursing to be easy. We understand nursing isn't easy. We are asking for nursing to be fair and for nursing to be safe.
According to the union, Kaiser has not met them at the negotiating table. Kaiser Permanente responded to the claims, saying in part, quote, "We are disappointed by some of the fake narratives the union is circulating. To be clear, all Kaiser Permanente medical centers in San Diego are fully staffed in accordance to state law," end quote. Well, the San Diego City Council voted unanimously to approve a year-round closure of Boomer Beach and Point La Jolla to protect our sea lions. The areas are already closed for 6 months out of the year for sea lion pupping season. That goes from May to the end of October. So during the meeting, city staff said that the closure is needed now in order to prevent injury to the sea lions and to people visiting. This was just the first reading of the proposal. There will be one more reading, and then if passed, it will head to Mayor Todd Gloria's desk where he will have to sign off on it. Now to crime news, Escondido police are asking for the public's help to identify potential victims of a man accused of sexually assaulting other men that he met on the dating app Grindr. Police say the suspect would lure his victims by pretending to be someone else. CBS 8's David Godfredson obtained court records that say the man was squatting in the apartment where the alleged assaults took place.
This is cell phone video recorded Friday afternoon showing the arrest of 28-year-old Tobias Barti at the Forest Glen apartment complex in Escondido.
I saw a full SWAT vehicle with guys in armored vests and guns.
Neighbors say the SWAT officers fired a flashbang grenade at the apartment before Barti surrendered, asking police, "What did I do?"
You know, I didn't know what it was at first. I threw it up on the patio there and it was super loud and my kids got scared and everything, but yeah, it was crazy.
Police served this search warrant on the house after getting complaints from 4 different men who said Barti catfished them on the dating app Grindr, pretending to be a white male who wanted to hook up.
What he would say is that he had a roommate who was a white male adult, and he was in the apartment, or he wasn't home, and they could come on in. And then when the individual came in, they realized that there wasn't anybody else there, and that's when the assaultive behavior occurred.
Escondido police say Barti threatened 2 of the men with a gun, forcibly kissing one man and sexually assaulting another. He remains behind bars, arrested on charges of kidnapping with intent to commit rape, sodomy and oral copulation by force, and assault by strangulation. Court records show Barti is on felony probation for drug-related offenses, and police believe there could be more victims out there.
The usage of the particular social media hookup site and his effort to connect with individuals for the purposes of sexual contact, and that coupled with any potential drug use, it creates a volatile situation for anyone.
The search warrant says Barti was squatting in the Escondido apartment, and the alleged assaults happened over the past 4 months.
It's not a crime if you want to go out and interact with somebody or pursue a sexual relationship, but there's substantial risks in doing so. And if you do intend to meet up, it's always advisable before you actually go to somebody's residence that you've never been to, maybe go to a public place where there's lots of people where you can interact with that person and get a better feel for who they are.
Barti is set to be arraigned Wednesday afternoon in North County Court. In Escondido, David Goffredson, CBS 8.
Now, since Barti's arrest on Friday, police say a 5th alleged victim has come forward. If you have any information, please contact Escondido Police. Now, a not guilty plea from a sex offender accused of trying to rob a jogger in El Cajon. Police say 41-year-old Ian Farmer attacked a 73-year-old man last week. It happened near Mollison Avenue and Greenfield Drive, where the victim was jogging. The man told police he fought Farmer off and ran to an apartment complex. Police say Farmer ran away, but they later found and arrested him. They say he has a history of theft, vandalism, domestic violence, and sex with a minor. Well, free speech or hate speech? At Monday's San Diego City Council meeting, caller after caller phoning in during public comment essentially hijacked the forum, making racist, anti-Semitic, and homophobic remarks. Council President Pro Tem Monica Montgomery Stepp repeatedly warned callers all comments had to pertain to city matters. During the pandemic, making public meeting comments virtual via phone and Zoom, they became more popular.
We have tried to increase the accessibility of our meetings, but if people are going to abuse that by using that as a forum to propagate hate speech, then maybe we need to think about whether that's a wise thing to be having at our city council meetings.
Yeah, for sure. Following the meeting, the city council issued a statement saying, in part, there is no space for hate speech and violent misinformation in our city, end quote. Well, the San Diego Superior Court has launched an online tool to help lower the cost of your traffic ticket. It's called My Citations and was developed by the Judicial Council of California. The tool allows someone in eligible infraction cases to look up their citation online, answer a series of questions, and then submit a request for a possible reduction in the amount owed, or try to request a payment plan. We spoke with the court's executive officer, Michael Rady, about the new program.
Really would be anything up to, it would not include DUIs, drunk driving cases, serious vehicular injury cases, but your run-of-the-mill speeding, failure to stop at a red light, those kinds of traffic tickets that you get.
Yeah, parking tickets are not included, as those are usually handled by the individual cities. You can check out the new program by visiting mycitations.ca.gov. So we are also now hearing from the two candidates running for the empty District 4 County Supervisor seat. San Diego City Council President Pro Tem Monica Montgomery Stepp will go up against small business owner Amy Reichert. Wednesday night, a forum was hosted by the San Diego Central Chamber of Commerce. As for creating more affordable housing, here's what each had to say.
All of the building has been happening in Murrieta and Temecula. It's just causing traffic congestion on the 15. Let's build sensibly here in San Diego County.
I also want to work with the state to try to streamline some of the processes when it comes to building, but we need to build especially affordable housing.
Yeah, both candidates said that housing and homeless would be their top priorities. The special election is happening on November 7th. Well, some of you reached out to us with safety concerns over roundabouts on Streamview Drive, some calling this section of the road a death trap. CBS 8's Brian White is working for you to find out what's being done about it.
That's right, 14 months later, and I'm back out here on Streamview Drive because people living around here say these traffic circles are dangerous the way they're set up, and they want to see some improvements made to make things more safe around here.
A cat only has 9 lives. We've already exhausted 8.
April Mahoney says this traffic circle in her Oak Park neighborhood is not safe. She's been pushing the city hard for improvements.
Mayor's office talks about sexy streets. We got a big fat nothing burger.
She told me about a number of car accidents occurring here, and last year I saw for myself the aftermath of a speeding car that crashed through her neighbor's fence and into their home at the tail end of a police pursuit. She told me about the time a drunk driver hit her parked car, and 6 months before that, another vehicle barreled through her neighbor's retaining wall across the street, crashing into their home.
Our insurance for our property has went up because now we're in a hazardous area.
When I was out here a year ago, April pointed out design issues she said were contributing to the problem. And to this day, she and other neighbors still have the same complaints.
What I want to show you is this asphalt. This is 4 inches. Look here. Tread marks all the way around. People are doing donuts.
I can hear people swerving around maybe 10 times around that little circle just to have fun, and it bothers me.
Neighbors on Streamview tell me they'd like to see some kind of barrier added.
I'm disappointed that they haven't done really anything.
Can I get a monument sign? Can I get some plantage? $3.5 million poured into this, and all we got was stamped concrete.
I reached out to San Diego's transportation department, and they told me the city will meet with the community in the coming months to discuss electronic speed signs, possible road humps, and traffic calming architecture and landscaping. Meanwhile, April and others are just hoping for something that can slow down drivers around here.
This is unacceptable. And it's 15 months later, and I get crickets.
In Oak Park, working for you, Brian White, CBS 8.
Brian, thank you. And don't forget, here at CBS 8, we really are working for you. If there's something you'd like us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. Well, after a 15-year-old boy was killed while riding his e-bike, Encinitas is getting new funding to make serious traffic improvements. Brody Champlain Kingman was hit and killed on his bike, and his mother says that his death could have been prevented if there had been clearly marked and dedicated bike lanes in the community. The $3 million funding will go toward creating a half-mile corridor for improved safety for bikers, pedestrians, and like a protected bike lane separated from traffic, new sidewalks, and a crosswalk.
Focusing on this roadway, this east-west roadway of Santa Fe Drive, and making sure that kids can get safely to school and that people who are driving on the road can also be as safe as possible is really important.
Yeah, construction is scheduled to start in October and should be done within the next 6 to 7 months. Well, living in San Diego, we know just how important it is to have lifeguards along our beaches. So with summer now officially behind us, though, the San Diego Fire Department's lifeguard division is already doing recruiting for next summer. The department says it's looking for seasonal lifeguards for next summer's peak beach season. Thursday marked the first of 3-day swim tryouts. All candidates must swim 500 meters in under 10 minutes to earn an interview.
We try to bring on anywhere between 40 and 60 new lifeguards every year. The lifeguard ones, we have approximately about 200 seasonal lifeguards.
Yeah, thanks for what they do. So if you are interested, the tryouts run from Thursday through Saturday. Each one is at Ventura Cove starting at 8 in the morning. Another set of tryouts are scheduled for February. Well, 7 patients from Rady Childrens Hospital got to take a break from their day-to-day life in the hospital and hang out at SeaWorld instead. The park gave the kids a chance to learn about dolphins and, of course, swim with them. The annual event is meant to give the kids and their families a little break and focus on fun instead. One mom said that her sons have been reading all about dolphins this week to prepare for the big day.
Think they were a little nervous?
Yes.
Do you think they were a little scared?
I think they were cold.
Okay.
And yes, I think they were a little nervous. I think I would be, just to be in front of a wild animal like that. But then I think the second they touched the dolphin, they felt a tremendous amount of love. Because I told them dolphins are just filled with love. That's all.
They sure are, and man, they did great. Look at that. SeaWorld tells us this event has been happening since 2007 when a dolphin trainer came up with the idea after she herself went through her own battle with childhood cancer. Well, a small sunglasses store in Pacific Beach is making waves with their shades. CBS 8's Ariana Cohen tells us how a former superstar on the field is helping their sales reach prime levels.
A San Diego-based sunglasses company is going prime time, and there's only one way to do this news story, with my blenders on.
All it took was the courage to reach out to an NFL legend and current head coach for Colorado University, Deion Sanders, to put this Pacific Beach sunglasses company on the map.
Sunglasses are his trademark. I mean, that's what he loves. He loves loud sunglasses, and that's what Blenders makes. I mean, we specialize in loud, affordable eyewear, so it's peanut butter meets jelly.
A perfect combination to make a deal. A big deal. Blenders Eyewear CEO Chase Fisher met up with Coach Prime as they worked together on the creative process to make these Prime 21 shades, named after the coach and his former NFL number.
Let's give him some.
Coach Prime handed out 150 pairs to his college team.
As a business, blenders. I do a line of shades with blenders.
And it doesn't end there. Just last week, a feud sparked when the Colorado State coach criticized Coach Prime for wearing sunglasses.
With the drama that happened last week with the CSU coach, calling out Coach Prime, throwing shade at him about his sunglasses and his hat, it just was the perfect storm, and he teed it up perfectly because we were already planning on launching the collaboration, the partnership last week. But with that comment, it just was an absolute layup.
A perfect storm to create skyrocketing sales.
Thousands upon thousands upon thousands. We've broken records in Blenders history. We've sold more pairs than we have in any sort of drop. Sales are up by 1,000%.
Fisher says the company has already made more than $1 million.
The demand is real. The hype is real. Coach Prime is real. Like we are changing the game, truly.
A far cry from where he started. He opened Blender's Eyewear in 2012 with only $2,000 in his pocket.
Sold shades out of my backpack when we just started. Sold shades at pool parties, street fair, surf contests, you name it. Humble beginnings for sure, and it took a lot to get to this point.
He can't wait to see what happens next.
Wow, we just took over the internet. We broke the internet, and now Blenders has become a household name.
Fisher is hoping for more collaborations in the future. And hey, if you live in San Diego, you can get 15% off any of the shades. Reporting in Pacific Beach, I'm Ariana Cohen for CBS 8. We'll send things back to you.
Looking good, girl. So you can get your own pair of the Prime 21 shades online, but the surge of orders is really pushing deliveries to December. Well, some San Diegans got a chance to meet one of their favorite actors, Jason Momoa. He stopped by the Total Wine in Mission Valley and a Ralph's store in La Jolla right on Monday, all to promote his bottle of award-winning vodka called Miley. It's all part of the first leg of the Miley Vodka Revolution tour. We spoke with one woman who is celebrating a very special day, all while getting to meet Momoa.
It's my birthday, and so I took off to have a personal day, and I'm here with my son and my friend, and I wanted to come and say, pick up a really good bottle of vodka and see Jason Momoa.
Yeah, what a stud. Jason Momoa took pictures and signed all of the bottles of vodka. You can find Miley Vodka at most liquor stores. The Miramar Air Show is back in town this weekend, and one of the most popular highlights each year, of course, the Blue Angels. Our Marcella Lee had the privilege and honor of flying with them in an FA-18 Super Hornet last year. So to build on the excitement of welcoming them back, we are taking you up to the skies to share some incredible views from her flight. There's some footage that we haven't shown you before. Take a look.
Give me the signal to start it up. So watch your hands. Ground flight, 7 taxi with X-ray. So just walk around and wait 2 4 I can hear it. Alright, if you would, go ahead and arm that sneed up. Okay. Let me know when you've done so.
She's got that hick maneuver down. Good stuff, Marcella, and should be a great weekend. To watch more of the maneuvers that she did over the beautiful Pacific Ocean, you can watch the special. It's happening. It's called Soaring with the Blue Angels. It debuted actually this week right here on CBS 8 Plus, our streaming platform. Just download our app for free. You can, of course, watch it right here on Apple TV, Roku, or Amazon Fire TV, or also just visit cbs8.com. Hispanic Heritage Month is underway, and we are celebrating by highlighting some of San Diego's many Hispanic-owned businesses. So today we're featuring Next Step for Downsized Living. This business helps people like empty nesters or seniors who need to scale down to a smaller home.
Typically, if they lived in their home for 40, 50 years, it's a lot of stuff. So we help them kind of figure out what they're going to take with them and what's left behind.
Yeah, what a special job. So they also help organize estate sales, and they have a store called Next Step Treasures where people can sell some of those items that they no longer need. You can find them at 286 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista. And mariachi music is, of course, deeply rooted in Mexican culture, and it's appreciated by people all around the world. CBS 8's Brian White met a group of kids in National City whose love for mariachi is something very special.
3 and 1, 2, 3. I do believe 100% that mariachi music was made for everybody, and I mean universal.
Mario Cesar Kia has been playing mariachi for over 25 years.
You follow him. Does that make sense? You follow him. Here we go.
And he's also a teacher, passing on the legacy of mariachi to the next generation of players.
It's not just them, but they represent so much more, you know, the communities they come from, their families, their heritage.
Yo quiero montarle un toro pa que me miren, mi amor. Yupa, yupa, you. Yupa. Yupa, yupa, you. Yupa. It's honestly very awesome to be able to represent our culture and, you know, please people and be able to change how, like, people feel with just, like, notes and, like, words.
Aileni Bojorquez is 15 years old, and she's been playing mariachi for nearly 3 years. I asked her to play her favorite song.
No pretendo ser tu dueña, no soy nada, yo no tengo vanidad. I put a lot of feeling into that song. I like the way it sounds, and like it's easy to sing, and like I could put my emotions into that song. Muchos más, yo no sé si tengo amor, la eternidad, pero allá tal como aquí. It's able to change a lot of people's feelings. You can like motivate them, like the music can make them feel happy, sad. It can make them feel a lot of emotions.
It's really fun. Sometimes we have free time and we just play like for hours.
Gael Garcia is 14 years old. He played a song called Cariño. It's his favorite because he remembers how his grandma used to love it.
Tú eras para mí diferente.
It's important to me because it's part of my culture, and since I originate from Mexico, it's just part of my life.
That is a full circle of being a musician. When you love something like that, like music, it is, you wouldn't want nothing else than to share it. But it always makes them smile, it always makes them feel good, it always makes them feel something. And so I know deep down in my heart that mariachi truly is the music for everybody.
Beautiful music, beautiful culture. Thanks so much for sharing it with us. And as always, thank you to you for your time. Thanks for staying informed. For CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day. Take such good care.